Gentlemen, tell us a little bit about how the story for this film came about.
Well, I started with the script like 3.5 years ago, something like that. And in the beginning, the original reflection was a father and son broken relationship, was the idea. But in the middle of the process, something really touched me and was a real event that happened in Chile. Basically, four young boys killed another boy in a public park, and just by curiosity, I made a research with one of the murderers, with the killers. I mean, with all of them, but basically with one. And I realized that the whole guys had an absent father figure. Mm-hmm. So I add some elements of this story in my script, and I build the Jesus, basically. That was the first idea.
Mm-hmm. The film really comments on, of course, adolescents and, of course, young adults and facing a lot of challenges and a lot of pressure. And can you comment a little bit about that? That's really dominant in the film.
The film portrays two different generations that are really opposite between them. And getting back to how the project started, it's something that with Fernando we share, is that we are from a generation that is exactly in the middle. We have in the main character generation, it's a very young one, that are totally, they don't believe in labels, they don't believe in categories, they are extremely globalized, they consume culture from different parts of the world, from Chile to Korea,
right.
And they are extremely free. And also they have a very random life. And on the other side, you have this generation that grew up during the dictatorship that is extremely repressed.
Right.
So I think those are those two worlds that are very hard to understand each other, portrayed through the image of Jesus, the young main character, and his father Hector.
Yeah, in a way also, like the Jesus in the film is looking for his identity, but it's an analogy about the identity of Chile as well. Like after our dictatorship, like in this last 25 years, Chile is changing a lot. So it's also these two reflections in the film.
Yeah, it's a generation. You have this generation that for who politics was extremely important. Mm-hmm. They had this dream of revolution during Allende, and then a dream broke by the dictatorship. And then you have this other generation that has no ideology at all,
right?
Politically, sexually, etc.
Mm-hmm. How was the casting process like, and finding of course, like the main actor?
Mm-hmm. Well, the main actor is not professional. He doesn't have any academic background. But it was quite hard because we were looking for a young boy. The role is Jesús is 18 years old, so we saw more than 400 guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
We couldn't find him.
Yes.
No, really, after 400 we couldn't find him.
Yes.
Wow. And like we were desperate, and I went to Berlinale to work, and Fernando just did like this small casting at the end. Like we were really I didn't have any hope, but he had more hope than I. And
yeah, and we found Nicolas, but it was really hard because the character is so demanding, you know.
Right.
So we were really we made a big job in the casting process. Mm-hmm. But fortunately we found him, and the results were really good.
Absolutely. Now tell us a little bit about maybe some of the challenges you had in the production of this film.
Well, the film is very real. So as Fernando is telling, the casting process was very hard because we were looking for that kid specifically. and not only the casting process is very real too, but also in the way we shot it. So we had to deal with huge crowds of teenagers in K-pop competitions that were quite hard. Where like there was a lot of teen energy that is very hard to control. Also, there are quite explicit sex scenes that also we had to control. Like with those subjects that are not very easy, especially for an actor that is not he's not a professional actor. He didn't went to acting school, and to have to act on those scenes in front of a huge crowd, a huge crew, is not easy at all.
Absolutely.
And we had to travel also to different parts from Chile.
Yeah, and also the violent scenes were quite hard. Even when we prepare these scenes and we work with a stuntman and we made choreographies and stuff. Anyway, always these kind of scenes are quite hard for the crew, for the actors, for me as well. But was part of the story, and we were looking for this naturalistic imaginary. So
the violent scenes, also the dancing scenes, we had to get a lot of young people, real young people that really dance K-pop in Chile, because there are a lot of them, and they had to teach the actors how to dance, and how to do choreographies, and they worked with costume department, making the costumes for all the choreographies of K-pop. It was quite fun.
So how does it feel to have your film here selected at the TIFF, and what it actually means for the country of Chile back home, of course?
Well, for us is the best beginning for the film. Like we will be in San Sebastian next week in the official competition. So for us was the best scenario to be here in Toronto and then in San Sebastian. And yeah, we are really excited also with the feedback of the audience. Was really interesting how the people saw the film. The lecture of the audience was so interesting for us. So we are super happy.
Nice. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.